Greetings my friends, and welcome back to the channel. Emperor Palpatine is a mastermind. He has a plan for all occasions. He is the culmination of the Sith rule of two and the plot to overthrow the Jedi. He is in many ways the ultimate Sith, the Sith Ari reborn. After the rise of the Empire, Palpatine went through great lengths to consolidate his power. He had meticulously prepared a great many plans to put into effect as soon as he had authority as Emperor. The most important of these plans were to silence anyone who dared to challenge his power to the throne of the galaxy, as the Sith finally ruled once more. This plan though meant taking out all of the Separatist leaders, any dark side rivals, the Galactic Senate, and of course, the Jedi. Once all of this was squared away, Palpatine was completely unrivaled in his power, and no one could stand against him. This new reality, the Emperor went through many great lengths to ensure. The Sith Lords are known for their paranoia, and Sidious may not have outlawed these shonen, but he had a few worries that took the form of one singular entity. One entity that he feared could one day overthrow his rule, an entity that he himself created. Darth Vader, his new apprentice. Since Sidious's plans for Anakin had been muddied by the events of Mustafar, Palpatine had to now ensure that he would be Emperor forever, and that Darth Vader would forever be his apprentice and by his side until he could find a better replacement to take his place. A more powerful apprentice to finally take over as Emperor when Sidious deemed it necessary. Vader by now was only 80% of the Emperor's own power, and Sidious ensured that he would never grow beyond that by purposefully making Vader's suit weak and super conductive to that of Force lightning. Palpatine essentially built a kryptonite into Vader's very armor, that being the Force ability that Sidious was most talented with. No matter how much Vader tried, he could never stand up against his master. However, despite his firm hold on Vader's position in the Empire, Darth Sidious still had placed in a great many contingency plans should Vader ever turn against him. Plans that went far beyond his own use of the Force. These contingency plans are explored in detail in many of the Lord Vader comics. In the comics, there were an insulting number of plans that the Emperor had for Vader, and plans that Vader ended up uncovering quite a few times. From a small army of cybernetically enhanced warriors to an entire cult of Sith zealots on Exegol. But today, we will be discussing a particular contingency order Vader uncovered regarding his own troopers. As you know, from the beginning of the Empire, the clones of the 501st were made into Vader's personal division, which he would lead into many fronts, earning them the title of Vader's Fist. In the comic series Dark Times, Vader struggles with his relationship with the Emperor after uncovering a great many secrets that Sidious had been keeping from him, while Vader has been out enacting the Empire's will on the remaining Separatist worlds, as well as killing some of the remaining Jedi. These first few comics are important for Vader as it illustrates some of the first time that we have between Vader and Sidious post Revenge of the Sith and their brand new relationship. It illustrates that Vader does actually fear that Sidious eventually plans to replace him, something that Anakin never worried about. So for Vader to uncover this is actually a massive deal. First, Darth Vader discovers that the Empire has been selling the natives of conquered worlds to the Outer Rim slave markets. Then, Darth Vader learns that Palpatine has been keeping from Vader the details of his plan to deal with the rest of the Jedi. A shocking moment for Vader, as he believed that he would be on the front lines of extinguishing the light of the Jedi completely. It is here in the comics, on the planet of Bandomir, Vader begins to think and suspect something else of his new Emperor. Vader is contemplating on Darth Sidious's plan to overthrow the Jedi, and he begins to suspect that there may be an Order 66 designed directly for the Dark Lord. Commander Veal of the 501st is given him the rundown of the results of their battle, and Vader interrupts the clone trooper, asking him a pointed question, which he demands that Veal answer honestly. After confirming the details of the clone's indoctrination regarding Order 66, Vader then asks the clone, "Have you been indoctrinated with a similar order to attack me if the Emperor so demands?" There is a moment of silence between the two of them as Commander Veal hesitates to respond. He then, however, chokes something out, stating that he's not sure if he has the authority to divulge this information. But for Darth Vader, this is enough to confirm his suspicions. Without another word, Lord Vader reaches out with the Force and force chokes Commander Veal and throws him off of a cliff to his death. He does this to ensure it never makes it back to Palpatine that Vader has had that very question. Was there a contingency order for Darth Vader? Was there an Order 66 for Vader? With the clone's answer being yes. From then on, Vader would continue to keep an eye over his shoulder at all times, and even from his own clone troopers, as it is now confirmed to him that within the inhibitor chips, there is an order for the clones to execute Lord Vader on command. It is an interesting thing to imagine just how deep the iceberg runs with Palpatine and all of his machinations. Certainly, Vader hadn't been unraveling them all over his short time as a Sith Lord. One thing is for certain though, even if there was an Order 66 for Vader, it is highly doubtful that the stormtroopers could stop him at all, as Darth Vader was no ordinary Jedi. Or maybe perhaps this was all a part of Palpatine's plan as well, not to stop Vader, but to simply slow him down, pushing Darth Vader into a corner so that Palpatine could find him and end him once and for all, as even the clones, all of them united, would likely not be enough to stand up against Darth Vader. The problem is though, is that Darth Vader is far more intelligent and pragmatic than Sidious wants to believe that he actually is. He wants to believe that Darth Vader is a puppet to be moved around a chessboard, a pawn. However, this is not Darth Vader. He still has the aspirations and intelligence of Anakin, and although he serves as a pawn for a great deal of time under Palpatine, this is never his true purpose or role. Even though Lord Vader continually uncovers more and more betrayals, he knows where he stands with his master, and now knows to play his game, and that he won't trigger any of these contingency plans. Nonetheless, this does not change the fact that Palpatine planned for everything, and this is likely a plan that he had in place far before Anakin Skywalker was burned on Mustafar. Perhaps Palpatine was already scared that Anakin would usurp his rule. Perhaps Darth Sidious was already preparing for the betrayal. But anyway, my friends, and students of the Force, what do you think of this? Do you believe that Darth Vader would have survived an Order 66 of his own? And what do you think would have been the ultimate outcome of this? Let us know your thoughts. And as always, my friends, may the Force be with you, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.